Good morning, everyone. Today is the first day of October. Happy October. Yes, we're moving away from the summer months into the Christmas or Santa rally months. And that's something we need to be aware of as we move forward. We are continuing the Plan Your Trade series. That's what we're looking at today. Today is on the SPY cycle patterns and inside Harami-Inside pattern in carryover trending. Now, Harami-Inside pattern, it is normally basically an inside day where the opening closing range of today should be within the opening closing range of yesterday. Now, at the same point in time, we can have high-low price swings that can be fairly aggressive. I'm not expecting anything major today, but I am expecting a rotational trend in this area to try to keep the market in kind of a sideways range. I don't expect a big gap up. I don't expect a big gap down, although I am expecting, after watching this pre-market, a little bit of a gap up this morning, keeping us possibly just outside this range, maybe in the 574.30, 574.20 area as an opening, just outside that, and probably closing about 572, 572.40 at the end of the day. I think it's going to be a fairly moderate day, fairly tight, fairly narrow. I would expect maybe 570, 569 as the lows, maybe 574, 575 and a half as the highs. And then we probably close around 572.20, 572, an inside kind of a flat down day. So back over here on the 30-minute chart where I had highlighted all of this data for you. Try to get this moved around. You can see where we're at, and you can see the expectations I have related to the next couple of days. So here was our expectations for yesterday. I expected an upward bar. Remember, these were drawn last week, last Friday. And so I'm drawing these out. I could be wrong on the range, but pay attention to the direction of the actual price move, because as you know, price may move outside or beyond my range up in this area. Reality is what I'm doing is I'm using these patterns to predict up and down price swings like you see here. So what we're looking at yesterday was an upward swing. I expected it would be starting in this area and moving up into potentially this area. I then expected today being a downward consolidation. You can see opening pretty much where it closed on Monday, trending about a third or a quarter of the way down. And that means that if we see this market price open in this area, and trend downward, we're going to be looking at, 572.4, 572.3, probably finding support. Then the following day, you can see I've got us gapping potentially, and then moving down, finding support, rolling, then a rally into this area. And it really is quite clear how this is playing out. I mean, I did a chart like this yesterday. In fact, I'll try to just replicate it here. So, buying down at this area, and then potentially buying into 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 this area. And then, of course, we have the sell here levels. And then you would want to sell into this area. I just pasted. What did I paste? And sell into this area, and sell into this area, and sell into this area. So you can see here from a day trading standpoint, you pretty much want to buy into this area, sell into the opening area here, trying to catch a bit of a move down. And you want to pretty much go flat here. And then you want to sell into this area and buy into this area, looking to sell here, buy into here. And then you want to try to go flat here. And then you want to buy into this area, sell into this area, buy into this area, sell into this area, and then buy back over here. So, ideally, what you're doing here is, trying to catch these rotational swings. And now, granted, this is an idealized example of the chart. In other words, yeah, can we know this is going to be the low? No, I don't know. Just like I didn't know this was going to be the low out here. I'm working on tools that can predict these lows for us. But at the same point in time, ideally speaking, buying into the opening yesterday wasn't a bad idea. Selling into the close yesterday wasn't a bad idea. Now I think we gap up a little bit and we can sell into that upper trend just a bit, moving down towards the lows, meaning selling here, trying to go flat into the lows, waiting for the next day, likely to see hopefully a gap up, selling early in the morning, expecting a crush pattern to set up, finding a base bottom and rolling out of it, loading up potentially near the end of the day, looking for that rally phase into a sell phase here, either at the end of the day here or loading up again on potentially a gap, coming down here off of these lows, selling, going back up here off of this potential gap, buying here, maybe getting a gap up here, getting out of the move here and going completely flat on this rotation, buying into the lows, catching these highs, selling up here into the highs, buying down into these lows, and then riding it out for about a day, day and a half into this sell peak here, and then rolling down here to buy. So, you're getting the opportunity very clearly to see what you want to try to do and how you want to try to approach this market trend. It's there. It's right there for you to be able to see and execute in a manner that should be suitable for you to gain some opportunity through the next 7 to 10 days. So let me highlight these and control CV, sell into here, control CV, sell into here, and control CV, and sell into here. So what I'm trying to show you guys here is how I read it, how I see it, and what I think you guys should be looking at. This is a pretty clear example of what is likely to happen and what I believe will be the layout of price over the next 10 trading days. And this carries off into the QQQ as well. We're going to have the same type of reaction. Again, I don't have SPY cycle patterns for the Qs. So what I can tell you is it should be fairly similar in structure. And that would mean that we would have had our rally day here. We would have had a consolidation and then a potential rally day out here. Let me go to daily real quick. And get rid of some of these. Leave those for now. So we're going to have a rally and then our consolidation pattern over in this area. And then we get our another rally bar Let me check on the SPY patterns. So we get our Harami, then we get our crush, then we get our rally, then we get a down, up, down. So this is going to be a crush pattern. And then we get our rally. And then we get our down, up, down, which will be like this. This is our crush pattern. This is a down bar. This is our consolidation bar. And then we move into a gap up lower, breakaway, breakaway, carryover, inside breakaway, which I believe will be moderate trending all next week, which will be somewhat like this, guys. So there gives you an example of where we're at with this mode. Okay, let me come over here and make sure I got this right. Trend, counter trend, breakaway. That's on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that should be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, counter trend. About like this. So that gives you an idea of what I expect for the Qs. So today's a flat day, opening inside the range flat. Tomorrow's our crush pattern. Then we get a bit of a rally day off of that low. Then we get a consolidation period. Then we get our rallying up into this trend. So it gives you an idea of what to expect. And it's basically the same setup as the QQQs because I don't have a QQQ cycle patterns yet. I'm just relying on the Qs and the SPY to move similarly. So understand that I don't have individual QQQ cycle patterns. We are outside the range. We have gotten above this support level, this ultimate support level. We're rolling off of this level. We consolidate and we roll up into this 502 level more than likely. Okay, so now let's move on to gold. Gold is moving higher again today, perfectly aligned with my patterns. These are my gold patterns. Today we're moving into an inside breakaway, then a Harami, then a temporary bottom, then a top resistance. Now, hypothetically, what that would mean for us today, get these things back in here. Nope. Gotta find a clear candle. Well, one of these days I'll find a clear candle that looks like it. Bring the front. There we go. So what we're looking at here with these gold patterns are we're looking at a pretty solid rally phase today. Make this green. And then we have this is an inside breakaway after our consolidation on Monday, then a Harami, then a temporary bottom, then a top resistance. So we come here, we have our move slightly higher here. Oops. So let's get this right. Try to make sure we get it perfect. So we have our consolidation, inside breakaway, Harami, temporary bottom, and top resistance. So after we get our Harami bar, which is going to be an inside bar today or tomorrow, Make it slightly lighter. Then we're going to end up getting our, oops, top resistance here, which is a rally day. Then we get our temporary bottom here. Temporary bottom, sorry, this is temporary bottom, that's top resistance. So got it backwards. This is a temporary bottom giving us setup. This is our top resistance, rallying a bit higher. Then we move into gap potential, top resistance, consolidation, and a temporary bottom. So that would be a gap potential up into this area, potentially gapping upward. Then we have a top resistance, consolidation, and a temporary bottom. So we would be basically looking at these out here and consolidation. So gap potential, consolidation, and temporary bottom. Top resistance right here. Okay. These coming right in here. So there you go. That's your outline for gold. Really, it basically consolidates today. Sorry, breaks away today, consolidates tomorrow, rallies on Thursday, rallies on Friday. This is going to be I believe, a temporary bottom setup, resetting off of these lows, temporary top setting up here, rolling slightly lower. And if I were to try to draw them without running out of time, it would be something like this. So drag this down here. We should have our lines here. Yep, we do. Okay, so these should be more in line. There's our rally. So that our rally, depending on where it's going to end today, would be in this area. And here's our other bars. So what we're looking at, guys, get rid of some of these. It's lining up very cleanly around this bottom I set up. But what we're looking at here is we're going to potentially have a fairly solid rally today, going from this area up into this area. And that's going to be a good solid rally bar. And then we're going to have a consolidation period here, which is going to be basically a fairly flat downward bar, maybe rolling a little bit into consolidation. Then we're going to have a rally bar, which is going to probably be like this somewhat. Then we're going to have this is our consolidation pattern. So that's our Harami temporary bottom. Okay, the third is our temporary bottom after our Harami day. So the temporary bottom is, let me get rid of this. Temporary bottom pattern is like this, coming down and then rolling out of it. Then we have a top resistance, which is rolling up into a rollover pattern. Then we have the gap potential, which is a further chance here of a gap higher rolling upward into consolidation. Into consolidation. And then into a rally phase up into the 2750 area. So you can see how these rotational bars give you good opportunity here. This is a good buy zone in this area. This is another good buy zone if you wanted to hold options overnight. We're running into a potential sell level up over in this area, maybe another sell area over in this area, decent buy zone over in this area, and then we get a buy zone over in this area. So you can see how from an intraday play, these give us a pretty good little rolling price directional trend. Technically we're getting another little sell zone right here. Not going to be huge because it's a consolidation period. But once we reach this peak and head into tomorrow's consolidation, if you're able to pick the highs, would be pretty good to be able to see this move. So there you go. There, I've mapped out the next basically 8 days, 9 days in gold. And that puts us up to 2750 by October 9th, roughly, probably in this area, maybe a little earlier. Okay, so I'll try to keep my mouse pointing off of anything. There's your layout for gold. Silver will do something very similar. So without going into all the lines, let me just try to draw. And if I remember right, we're going to be rallying today into consolidation, rally, roll, into consolidation, roll, into upward movement, and up and out. So there we go with silver. Silver is, like I said, following gold, but kind of dragging right along the channel. We are going to see daily, we're going to see silver, attempt to make another move up to the outside of this area. Like I said, really out here by the 23rd or 22nd, we're going to roll potentially up into this $34, $35 area. But right now, we're just going to channel out of this support, leading into this nice little rally channel right across here and right across here, pretty much setting these up as a what I would call a rally channel up into these upper areas. And I think it's going to be pretty solid. You're going to get the same type of rolls. So if you can day trade silver, you can get these rolls pretty consistently, just like I did with gold. And I'll show you that at the end. And then, of course, Bitcoin is up $481 today. Not much. Had a big selling day yesterday. You remember that I warned way back over here that Bitcoin was running up into this resistance area, would likely roll down to this area. My analysis hasn't changed. I still believe that we're going to be seeing Bitcoin move downward, and we're going to be targeting that 59,500 to 60,000 area. So be aware. I think we're looking at a pretty solid, just rolling top formation into this area, and then possibly basing, staying within, this, I've highlighted it here, this range really going into the election. I think we're going to just stay in this 63,000 to 59,000 range going into the election, and really consolidate and then break away potentially after the election. Okay, so that's it. Happy Tuesday. We got a lot ahead of us today. Really important to see how this consolidation pattern plays out. Let me go ahead and drag these down a little bit. So here's our chart again. And remember, I had drawn this on the 30-minute. I'll go to the 60-minute. And I'll leave you with this. This is your layout for the next 8 days, 9 days. Pretty solid, in my opinion. We'll see how it plays out. So far, we've been doing pretty good, but you know how these things go. The further out I go in my analysis, the harder it gets to predict what's going on way out here. So we'll see. Okay, guys, good luck. Talk to you later.